Howdy doody, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Aladdin for the Sega Genesis, the same title as the movie. The same title of what the film is basically about a young boy named Aladdin, a young orphan street rat, that is to have food to survive, while an evil vizier named Jafar wants to rule Agrabah by using a genie's magic lamp, and entering the Cave of Wonders, that is trustworthy. He, the young boy, he is obviously him, and we have a beautiful princess named Jasmine, who is desperately in love with the orphan boy. I mean, not orphan boy, but he does have parents in the sequels. Anyways, he's our hero Aladdin, and is basically the hero of the story to go get the lamp and enter the Cave of Wonders and be befriended with a magical carpet, and then encounter Genie of the Lamp, and become Sultan, and then has a wonderful ride with Princess Jasmine, a whole new world. Then comes an encounter with Jafar's magical staff, and this the entire movie. It was a huge success with our wonderful film of Aladdin, and was a big box office hit, and it was one of the best 1992 movies of all time. Later on, it would have most likely a TV series from its sequel, its final moment from The King of Thieves, which I'll get to some other time. But anyways, on with the game. Our hero Aladdin uses a sword. You know, in the movie he only uses that sword for like maybe a few seconds. In this game he uses a sword, and each end of the level you end up in a bonus stage, each getting more extra high scores, and more lives, and you end up in Abu and Agrabah, playing a little bit of Abu avoiding falling pots, and then try to get the extra life, because the game will become a little bit tougher than you think it will be. It does use some still images from the movie, sort of. There are like about tons of 10 levels of the game. When the Aladdin takes damage, you see a bit on the life bar of the lamp. When the Aladdin takes damage, he'll lose a bit of health, and we get a pretty nicely good animation of Aladdin gets knocked out and Genie bounces back and for help. But like any video game, ignore that sound outside. And if you lose all your lives, game over. You have to start from the beginning. Not to mention the music is pretty good. Fun. I almost forgot to mention, and the animation looks a bit better different than the Super Nintendo. And to let you know, I never did beat in this game as a kid, and it was way too hard. I tried to beat the game without using cheats. But now this game is released. It's for the Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. I might actually have the chance to play this game again on a different system. Anyways, These here weapons are not only the sword, but throwing apples, just like the Super Nintendo. And it collects scallops and end up in the bonus stage. Which, like I said, the game is a bit different than the Super Nintendo, because it's done by Capcom. And this one's done by Virgin. It's kind of nice hearing the music. And again, I had to say it because it's pretty good. Everything in this game's graphics are pretty good, and you have to collect items and enough treasure to buy extra lives because you need them, because it'll be a lot harder later on in the game. There are like many bosses, including him, Razoo from the movie, and ones that weren't even in the film. But to this game's credit, it's pretty good. Really great. I just wish it wasn't so hard. My favorite one is the dungeon stage, where these wrecking balls are really animated like they're like 3D, but well, perfectly done. And the explosive skeletons, awesome. And there's high scores, like every game from the early 80s and 90s. They had to be there just to exist to make sure you get enough high scores. Also, I love the skeletons all piled up with a Mickey Mouse hat, which you've seen in part of the game already. Anyways, you enter in the Cave of Wonders, and you have to avoid falling into water. Or since our hero doesn't learn how to swim, and then fight off a few ghosts and moving statues, which like bats, scorpions, fishes, even a mini boss of a statue that comes to life. And here's the next level I could not get past. This is the King of Wonders gets interrupted, and with a volcano, like a volcano, when Abu grabs the gem and it interrupts, and you have to run away from the boulder or you're dead. I could not get past this as a kid. Or neither is the magic carpet ride stage, which is almost hard to avoid. And from the Super Nintendo. Next is the inside the lamp, and it has that song, "You Never Had a Friend Like Me." And I can easily tell the designers made this one pretty interesting, having the genie use face everywhere, which is pretty awesome, just like in the movie. And so there's no TV in the background. Well, TV's in the background. Anyways, you enter into Sultan's palace, jumping on flamingos and beating up Iago. That appears most of the time, even as an enemy. Speaking of Iago, he becomes a mini-boss in Jafar's lair. You have to jump on the magic carpet here and there, go there, and there's a beast right there. There has the stacks of toys, just like in the film. Sultan was playing with his toys. That's pretty clever. Anyways, let's cut to the final stage. Where you finally face Jafar once and for all. While fighting in the Sultan's guards and avoiding spike pits. It's in wrecking balls. are pretty much the same, but different color. And once you get to the final stage and get ready to fight Jafar, he uses his staff, and you have to throw many apples as you possibly can. Make sure you get enough or you won't defeat Jafar so easily. He does turn into a snake. Just avoid his fire power. And we get the ending of the game. A whole new world. And that's Aladdin for the Sega Genesis. It's awesome. It has the music, part from the movie from 1992. Oh, not to mention this game came out in 1993, during a year later, after the film. This game is pretty much the greatest thing out there on the Sega Genesis. It's a bit better than the Super Nintendo. This one is well animated perfectly. It's actually one of the best ones out there. And I will always treasure this game, even as my collection, even though I won't beat it. I can always buy the one with the Aladdin and Lion King collection. But speaking of the Lion King, I'll get to that pretty soon. For now, I'll let you enjoy the credits, and I give this game a 7 out of 10, which is pretty much a good game. So leave a like and subscribe if you like me to talk about another interesting video game based off a movie. So, I'll always love Aladdin just the way it is. A pretty classically a great movie and a video game. It'll always be one of the greatest ones out there. Thanks for watching. Also, there's Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, which I'll also get to pretty soon. A video game based on The Little Mermaid. So, see you around, folks. Ciao!